Hello there, this is Jed Shlackman, and in this video I'll be speaking about some of the major issues in our lives and how we experience those issues and work toward mastery of them through contrast and polarity in our life experience. I'll be doing this by going through the 7 major energy centers, the 7 chakras, and the particular aspects of our life, the issues that those would relate to. And we'll see how this process of experiencing contrast and extremes or polarities helps us find more balance and mastery with these different aspects of our human life experience. To start out, let's look at the root chakra. Your root chakra is your energy center that's located all the way down at the base of the spine. So that would be the center down here. And this center connects us to the earth plane, to physical survival issues. So safety, security, and stability are the issues that are present or prominent for the root chakra. Now, if we look at our lives, we can see that many of us have major challenges, major disturbances that have occurred that affect our functioning in that center. So anytime we're feeling threatened or unsafe, anytime that we're uprooted, we have to move around a lot, things like that. If we're lacking shelter or a place to stay, these things have to do with that basic sense of safety and security. So as we go through our lives and we confront those issues, those feelings of lack of safety or lack of security or stability, we learn how to reclaim that sense of safety within ourselves. So once we've gone through the experience of feeling unsafe or insecure, and then we find a way to regain our sense of safety and security, then we've mastered it in that sense. If we never had the experience of feeling unsafe or insecure, of being uprooted and so on, then we wouldn't have as deep an understanding and mastery of it as we do once we've gone through that contrast and reclaimed our sense of balance or wholeness. So that was the root chakra. So we have the root, now we're coming up to the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the chakra that relates to our creativity and sexuality. And this is the chakra or energy center that's located in the area where our reproductive glands are, right around here. With this energy center, things often get disrupted or thrown off balance when we have some major issue regarding our sexual experiences or intimate relationships. So while people would feel healthy and harmonious in that area when they have a healthy, intimate connection, it's common in human life experience to have disturbed or problematic intimate relationships, as well as to have some type of undesirable sexual experience, whether it's having been violated in some way or having connected with someone in that sense and then later regretting it. Some people regret being promiscuous. So there's many different issues or aspects that can come up with one's sexuality and how one feels about that, how one feels really about their own self, their own value or self-worth. So we're all creative beings, whether we're procreating the life on the physical level or not. We're constantly using our life energy to create things, and if we feel positive and enthusiastic with what we're creating, the energy flows nice and freely in that area. However, if we feel some shame or guilt, some sense of fear or regret related to the expression of energy there, then we have a constriction or some type of block or imbalance in that energy flow. There can be great extremes in how those disturbances play out. There are people who are very rigid and restricted in their use of energy on the sexual or creative level, while there are other people who are actually compulsive or overactive with their sexuality, who have a hard time finding balance there. They're so preoccupied with that, they're putting all of their energy into that pursuit and not able to use energy more evenly for other aspects of life. We're coming next to the solar plexus. The solar plexus is the center for our personal power, and a lot of issues in human life involve power or control. So having self-confidence, being able to assert yourself, to shine, to share who you are in the world around you. And when that sense of balance in that regard gets disturbed, if we feel that we've been disempowered, that other people have had too much control over us, other people have oppressed or abused us in some way, then we might go to one extreme or another in our response or reaction to that. In some cases, people become very shy or reserved or withdrawn. They're afraid to express themselves or speak up for themselves. In a sense, they're afraid to shine and be seen. In other cases, people go out of their way to kind of regain a sense of power or control. They go to the opposite extreme where they become domineering or tyrannical, where they have a hard time accepting there are things they can't control, that other people have their own free will, and so on. So we can see this playing out in our personal lives and in the world around us, how people have those contrasts and those polarities with the issue of power and control. Next, we come up to the heart chakra. There's the heart. Your heart chakra is your major emotional center, and we think of the main issues for the heart as love and compassion. So we all want to feel loved and appreciated, and we'd like to be able to share that with others as well, to show them love and appreciation. However, as we go through life, we encounter different experiences that disturb that sense of connection, that feeling of love and compassion or attachment and bonding that we may have with other people. So you may have felt you've been neglected, abused, abandoned, rejected, betrayed. All of these different things tend to come up at one time or another in our lives. And when we have those experiences, there's some type of emotional pain that we feel at that time. And so to adapt to that, to often try to protect ourselves from feeling pain again, We may go to one extreme or another. With our relationships, one extreme can be to try to grab on too tightly to other people. Sometimes people call it being clingy, where we have such a strong desire to have that feeling of loving attachment or loving connection that as soon as we get a taste of it, we want to hang on to that for dear life. And we kind of over control or over cling to the other person. We go out of our way to try to show love or to try to get them to show us love, rather than just being kind of more calm and content within our own being, where we have a feeling of love within ourselves that's not so dependent on sharing the connection with another person. So there can be all kinds of extremes with these love or bonding relationships. Sometimes there's that over-attaching, that overly needy type of behavior pattern, and sometimes there's kind of an avoidance of intimacy or avoidance of emotional connection, where the person has decided to avoid getting hurt emotionally. They won't really bond closely with other people. They'll keep things more on a detached, maybe an intellectual kind of level. They'll try to turn off their sense of empathy for others. So when that is taken to an extreme, the person could appear kind of narcissistic, antisocial, or psychopathic, where they're not concerned with the needs or feelings of other people so much, and they tend to use or manipulate other people to meet some interest or wish for themselves, but not forming a real bond with another person. So that brings us now up to the 5th chakra area, which is the throat. And your throat is your communication center. So of course communication is a very important issue in our lives, and we can experience a lot of contrast and polarity there. We'd love to be able to have healthy, constructive communication with different people we interact with, to be able to express things in a way where we have greater understanding, greater appreciation for one another. But often things don't work out that way. Often we're not really listening well to other people. We're busy trying to speak or express and impose our own way of looking at things, our own concerns, without really listening to the other person to understand what they're thinking or feeling. We may have had experiences in life where we felt that people wouldn't listen to us, or that we were in some way punished or mistreated for speaking out. And as a result of that, we might constrict our communication. We may be afraid to speak up. We may resist sharing or communicating what's on our mind, since we don't feel it's safe to do so. So those are a couple extremes that can occur, where we're so eager to get other people to listen to us that we kind of talk incessantly, even when it would be better to have a balance and let other people speak more. Or we can go to the extreme where we don't assert ourselves or take the initiative to communicate something that would be valuable to communicate, since we're afraid that there will be some negative social consequence if we do so. And this takes us up now to the 6th chakra. Here we have the 3rd eye chakra. This is the energy center that relates to your vision, to how you're seeing, perceiving, and understanding things. And in our lives, it is quite relevant to be able to see things clearly, to have a good understanding of whatever phenomenon we're observing in our life or in the world around us. Often we lack clear vision, so we lack the understanding or the clear perception to have a good idea of what's actually going on, whether it's your own personal life or things happening in the society around you. Sometimes there are things that we're not willing to look at within ourselves or within our own life. So we're not seeing things because we don't want to see it. We're afraid to look at it for whatever the reason might be. It could be that we're not willing to confront our own weaknesses or our own actions. It could be that we're not willing to look at things about people around us because we don't want to think or feel something negative toward them. We want to kind of idolize someone, perhaps, especially when we're children. We want to look up to our parents. We want to think our parents are the most wonderful parents in the world, and we might not be willing to see their faults, their misdeeds, or things that are not really positive about them. So if we make a habit of blocking our vision of things, that can start to have a ripple effect into other aspects of our life where we're not seeing things that we need to. Next, we're coming to the 7th chakra. This one we call the crown. And the aspect of life that the crown pertains to is the spiritual realm, or our spiritual connection, how we feel in relation to a higher spiritual source. This is where we think about the soul, the higher self, the divine creator or infinite intelligence, and what our beliefs are about that, how we feel in connection to that non-physical realm of existence, that non-physical aspect of who we are and what we're connected to. Since we're born here into this physical body, in this physical world, into what in a sense is an illusion, a reality where everything appears discrete and separate, and where we're not able to perceive the spiritual energy and consciousness that are projecting all of this into being, we tend to forget who we truly are, and we tend to react to things as if we are only this physical body, this human social personality, this construct we've created. When we look at things in that way, it has an effect on really every aspect of how we live our life. It affects how we treat ourselves, how we treat other people, how we think about the different challenges that we encounter in life. So are we thinking in terms of a unity consciousness or holistic view of reality, or do we see things in terms of competition, in terms of a struggle for survival, in terms of scarcity, in terms of fear of what other people are going to think about us or do to us? All of that can relate to your understanding of spirituality. Many people feel in some sense separate from the Creator, or may feel as though that they're unworthy or undeserving of the Creator's love. Many people carry some guilt or shame from experiences from different times in their life, or even from other incarnations, or even those types of feelings or patterns that have been passed down through their ancestry. So we want to look at those issues and see where we've created a sense of disconnection from the divine. Once we recognize that and work on healing that, once we've experienced feeling separated from, rejected by, or abandoned by the divine spiritual source, and we're able to overcome those misunderstandings, you could say, and reclaim our sense of our own spiritual essence or divinity, then we've really mastered it more completely. We have a greater appreciation and understanding of feeling what it's like to be part of this infinite, creative, loving intelligence. I hope that this quick overview of these major issues in our life, how they relate to the energy centers, and how we explore them through contrast and polarity, and how that can eventually lead us toward a deeper mastery, has been helpful. I appreciate each of you for taking your time to view this video. And for now, I'd like to invite each of you to visit my website, which is phinsights.com. That's phinsights.com. You can find lots of great holistic healing resources there. You can also watch some more of my videos on YouTube, and you can contact me if you have any other questions. For now, I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful day. Namaste.